Hey guys. Hey Maxie.
Hello. How's
Welcome to
everyone
the
doing? Hi.
Yeah, hey. Welcome to the think tank. How is everybody? What
It's
are you up to?
Sunday. It's Sunday.
It is
It's
Sunday.
rest day. It's Monday. It's about ready to be Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah, like 3
right?
hours.
Yeah. For you guys. We were trying to figure out James and what did you say? 6 hours for him?
Yeah, so it's like 9 p.m. there, maybe.
What did he say? 6? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said 6 hours. I wrote the notes somewhere on a scrap piece of paper.
On a scrap piece of paper. You're
Yep.
like me. I ended
There
up
it is.
buying one of these big calendars, the paper ones that you can flip month to month.
Mhm.
It's been my saving grace, honestly. Like everything is on these. I'm going to end up having to go back and start ripping them out and start reading and writing everything down or typing everything in. Look at it's doing that again with me. Like, do you see this?
Maybe it's the colors of your. It's not
Remember I did that to my
processing the deep
watermelon.
blues. Your watermelon.
Remember I had that watermelon and you said you could almost like see through it? I think it's StreamYard.
I think it's the colors.
Do
Like,
ya?
so like with the watermelon, because it was like green, it couldn't really understand what was right here. You see that?
Oh, that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Oh, shit.
You see that? He said it has something to do with my watermelon. It's like your watermelon. That's what we're calling them. Okay.
It looks like I got Hooters. Big old floppy ones.
You're bringing very like a lot of attention to your chest area at the moment.
I don't know how to.
This video is gonna get the most views.
Yeah, right. She had surgery. I know it. Hey, Dandy, how are you doing, friend?
Hi, friend.
So I thought it might be a good idea. Like, we have learned so much in the last, well, since November 13th. So I thought it might be a good idea just to even go back and look at the probable cause and see if we look at it through a different view.
Yeah.
Dandy.
I'm down.
Yeah. And we've pretty much got his times down, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Well, again, as far as what all of my timeline is based on the PCA and how they have it. So
ditto. I mean, it's the only thing that we have. So this thing is 19 pages long. So I don't know. And most of it I think is important. I hate to miss any, but we'll kind of see how it goes. And then it might not be a bad idea, Mexi, if maybe we listen to some of those videos again, if we can find them.
Some of your old your videos?
I was thinking about the car in the parking lot and the car with the sunroof. Okay. Because they're floating out there. They're trying to put that car with the sunroof into the case, and yet it's really two separate things.
Right, but I mean, who's really to know, like, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, like, from assuming that maybe the cops don't have the right guy.
Assuming, yeah.
Could that come into play? Maybe if you can tell me where else you've seen that, like, maybe.
Absolutely.
Give me a story with it and I could maybe roll with it, but I just don't.
No, the car that we're seeing does not seem to have a sunroof.
Mm-mm.
And you and I, maybe we should do this again. You and I were going through the areas and they were all blurred out, like the strangest places.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also kind of wondering if that's where the cameras were, right? Is that what they're doing, do you think?
Well, I don't know, because like yesterday when we were doing that, I didn't know, like my computer was kind of like lagging. I'm not sure if that's like a Google glitch, like in maps, like where maybe it just
okay.
like blurs out really quickly, because I kept moving around and then looking back and it's not blurred. So, but there is some houses. I know the one on Walenta is definitely blurred.
Yeah. And then it looked like they were blurring out post office boxes.
Right. That was strange. But then the apartment kind of like in front of the Queen house, but like catty corner, is blurred out. And we also know that the house that was right next door to them, that blue one, is also blurred out. So I'm assuming all of those kind of had cameras or something.
Cameras. Yeah. So there was also did you watch Gray Hughes at all?
Not yesterday. I started feeling sick, so I just kind of
laid down. Yeah. Relaxed. Fair enough. Well, he thinks that, I think this might have been before that even. He thinks that he could spot Bryan Kohberger's car doing like at least 3 or 4 passes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that idea?
Well, it would make sense, because if you read the probable cause, they actually do say that. Like, starting at
there. It was on page 6.
Yeah, like starting at like 3:29 when he's caught right in front of that A&W at that light. And then he enters, that's when he really enters the neighborhood, because he was on the other side of Moscow for whatever reason. So that guy that we're talking about, that Verdasi Sasi, that's been dropping the videos, they also dropped the 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. video. And you do see a car making several passes around the time the PC says that they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't tell if that car's white or black, though.
No, I can't either, but it does actually seem to be maybe the same
shape,
length and shape.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I'll read this page 6, because this is what he was going off of. A review of the camera footage indicate that a white sedan, hereafter suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26. And westbound on Steiner Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appeared the suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. So this is all basically caught on that footage, right?
Right. In that, if on that AW stoplight, I'm actually pulling out the map now so I can give you guys a visual of where that is.
Okay, let me come over there. Hey, Jay. Welcome, friend. That is just wild. Like, I don't know what this is all about.
Hi, AJ. So I do have the map pulled up. So that line you just read about, what, 3:29 or something?
Let me get back there. State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appeared suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate.
So this would be this area right here that I just clicked on. It's at the stoplight. And that's essentially how they kind of started looking into him, because they realized that he also changed his plates from Pennsylvania to Washington. shortly
betcha.
after
You betcha.
these murders
So,
happened.
yeah, so he
Take a look.
Pennsylvania only requires the one.
So this is 95 right here.
Okay.
And I'm assuming he got caught at this light somewhere. There's got to be a camera somewhere.
One would think. If not, one of these apartments or buildings.
Mm-hmm. Or the stores.
Guess.
Oh, we'll see
look
right
at
here.
that.
AW.
Yeah, you betcha. Okay. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Walenta Drive. Based on my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit that time enter and exit that area during the time frame. What the hell's wrong with my tongue already? Unreal. So that puts us yeah.
So if he enters the neighborhood at 3:29, again, I think that body footage is something that we probably need to go back and look at, because I'm more than sure that they're there still at like 3:30, 3:45.
Yep. And there is a white Alantra cut on that camera.
That's got to be him.
Camera. I'm thinking so.
3:28 here. He goes down this road, makes that turn, passes through what's going on the Banfield, comes down to King, goes around Queen, background, and out Walenta.
Yep, exactly. And then it's down there in Walenta that we start to see other. Well, there's that one. If we go, do you mind if we go for a walk?
Yeah. Do you want to take the whole walk, or you just want to see that one that's?
I wouldn't mind just taking a walk around that parking lot, maybe once, and then just up through the wind or that Walenta. Yeah.
So this would be the King Road. We've known that house was already blurred out. It looks like this apartment behind here is blurred out.
Yeah. And you can't even go up there now on Google
Maps.
Maps.
And you can't go down the street there anymore. And this is blurred. I'm not sure why, but it could be a glitch. I'm not quite sure what that is. But
so he went around that parking just up by those vehicles up there.
Yep.
And then you can see that. You betcha.
And then came down this road. So he went up and around the building, like kind of tucked in the building.
Yeah.
And then wrapped around and came out this road and out this way.
Yeah, exactly.
And
then look at how close the sorority house is. The guys. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from Ethan. Is that corner blurred too?
What corner?
The other way? Okay, it was just.
Like I said, I think sometimes it's maybe a glitch, like something it didn't catch while it was driving by. I'm not sure.
Yeah, fair enough. So then he is most likely, I think they've caught him going up this way on his way out.
Came up Walenta and then went this way.
Yeah.
And you see that blurred out spot right there?
Yep, exactly. So is that another camera? That'll be interesting to find out.
So then there's the paperwork that the defense recently dropped. It's somewhere in that 100 and whatever documents that they put in.
Yeah, yeah.
They claim that cops have footage of a car coming down this road. So I'm assuming it's from this house, but it's traveling that way towards the house, and it's at the wrong time.
Exactly. So that would be most likely that car with the sunroof going home.
Right, which lives on the other end of Walenta and Ridge, like at the end of the cul-de-sac. That's where it's parked, at least.
Can we go down that way and show them?
Sure, if I don't get lost. I could do.
I think you just go through this time.
I could do.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like a person can get lost in these.
That's that car.
There we go. So that car there.
Let's turn it around. That's an Infinity, I think.
And it's got a sunroof.
And it has a sunroof, yeah. Now there's a better view of it. Sunroof.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems that people are saying that the cops have got this mixed up, that they somehow have his car going this way, and they know what they're doing. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they know that that vehicle is sitting there. It's not Bryan's car, and I don't think the cops have ever claimed it was Bryan's car. Hey, Copper Horse. Happy Sunday.
Hi, happy Sunday. That's interesting.
It really is. So somehow someone's throwing this stuff out, and it's almost like, what, to mix us up?
Possibly. It could, I don't know.
And like the jury pool to try and keep it.
That's that house right there that's blurred. So that has like a perfect overview of
absolutely
the apartments, the parking here, and the house, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. So what? I'm going to take a look at this PCA and see what they say.
Let me
suspect.
Stop my screen real quick.
Well, I can talk while you.
Sure.
Yeah. Are we set, or do I have to put you back on? There we are. Yay. Okay. So, a review of footage from multiple videos from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29, ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes. Were you going to say something about 4:20?
No, happy 420. What happened?
Didn't it show at 4:21? Didn't we hear a car squealing out?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
421 in like succession. It's almost like you can almost visualize him making turns, like
absolutely
turned right in front of the house, coming down between the apartment and the house, turn there.
Yep.
You hear squealing, and then you hear squealing again, like he's making that right on King.
Yeah.
And then another squeal, like he's making a left onto Alenta. It's wild.
Yeah.
At 421, that changes a little bit of the timeline, a little.
It does. It gives an extra minute. But you and I sat here that one day, remember? And just tried to figure out how slow, how long of a time it actually is.
We did let that kind of just go on normal time. And those 10 minutes, like just 10 minutes is.
It's lots of time.
It's an eternity. It really is. Like it took forever.
Yeah, it did. So when you think back, it does kind of tell us that it can be done very fast.
Yeah.
You know, he was the only one with a weapon. It was an unfair fight.
Yeah, someone made a comment on yesterday's video that Bryan Kohberger is really like 6'2" and 185 pounds.
I seen that.
So that makes me think a little bit different, because him and Ethan would be a little bit more like fairly matched.
But that's right now.
Right.
And he's been in jail. And what do guys do in jail? They work out.
Is that what he's been doing?
I'm thinking possibly.
You think he's eating meat now too?
No.
No.
I bet you they bring in what he wants. Like, not exactly what he wants, but if he wants to eat like a vegetarian, I'm thinking they'll give it to him. My thoughts.
I mean, I would hope so, because like violation of rights and whatnot, believe.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do, and this is kind of where the Delphi situation makes me believe that maybe that Richard Allen might be literally doing this to himself, because
yeah, I mean, it's obvious he's eating his own paperwork. No one's forcing that down his throat, but could there be like some mental, disconnect there? I don't know. I'm not a professional. I can't diagnose the guy. But
yeah, it's just kind of, that's another case. That's another rabbit hole, many rabbit holes. Holy. So yeah, plenty of time. He hung around. It looks from right around 3:30 he was coming and going.
Yeah. I would hate to, I don't want to use somebody else's content.
Is there anything in mind that'll?
No, because you don't have that 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. one.
No, I don't.
But if you guys have seen the 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. footage that comes from this apartment building here, you will see a car come by really close to these two buildings, and it almost disappears, kind of. I think there's like a wall right here, maybe, because you can't see all of the car. So it kind of comes through here and then around.
Yeah.
It does a couple of passes via there.
Yeah. I think we can get that drawing that it's probably out now. So it says here that suspect vehicle 1 next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 at a high rate of speed. Again, we think 4:21. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Walenta. And we just went up there and showed you that.
Walenta.
And that's where that house is blurred out. So based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood, that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame. I believe the suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive and Canosta Drive. Palouse River Drive is at the southern edge of Moscow and proceeds into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho. And both of these places are small college towns.
And looking at this, like the way it's so funky back here, this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever did this, like, obviously knew the area, because he took the route that would have got him out of the neighborhood.
Yes.
Because if you made, so when you left King Road residence, if you came down Walenta and you came to this spot, if you would have made a right, it would have taken you to that dead end where we were just at.
Yeah.
You can't get out of here.
I mean, it's almost like he had 12 test runs.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't figure out if this guy's smart or stupid.
It's a very good question, or just very lucky, because that's
Or very
another thing that
lucky.
the guy who wrote the piece, the probable cause, says right there in that last line. He says, according to his experience and knowing the neighborhood, that he must have exited through here for him not to be seen, because he doesn't see him anywhere else. So he must have gone that way, is his assumption.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And like, yeah, he'd know all the little zigzaggy ways. We've even got to look at later this smart, evil genius. Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger was busted in PJs, stuffing trash in Ziploc garbage bags. That's a little bit of a flashback. So
that's just so interesting, because that road that he exited on, where he allegedly, or they allegedly exited on, which is Palouse Road. This road, if you take a right, actually leads you, if you just follow it, it takes you back to Pullman. And it's a shorter route, right?
There you go. Yeah.
So why did he go all the way around?
I'm not sure.
Look,
maybe did dump stuff
all the way around. Yeah, I guess just throw a black ski mask here, some gloves here.
Yeah. And then when he's got some time, go back out there and collect it and take it out to wherever it was that he went for that 5-hour drive, or however long it was.
And I guess after doing something like that, you probably want to take a long drive home.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, I would think. It seems nowadays they're catching these guys on their phones.
Yep. And the newer cars, they all have like little black boxes and like tracking.
Yeah. Tracking.
And even if you turn your phone off and you think that, oh, I'm fine, I'll just put it on airplane mode. Well, if it hooks onto Bluetooth to your car, it's going to track you. So stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Unreal. Well, it's getting easier to get the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. So let's see what else we've got here. Law enforcement officers provided video footage of suspect vehicle 1 to forensic examiners with the FBI, and that regularly utilize surveillance footage to identify the year, make, and model of an unknown vehicle that is observed by more than one camera during the commission of a criminal offense. Well, I can see the defense picking at that a little bit due to the fact it bounced around a little bit. They were searching for one, and it was not the year that Bryan was driving. The forensic examiner has approximately 35 years of law enforcement experience, with 12 years at the FBI. His specific training includes identifying unique characteristics of cars, vehicles, and he uses a database that gives visual clues of vehicles across the states to identify differences between vehicles. So after reviewing the numerous observations of suspect vehicle 1, the forensic examiner initially believes that suspect vehicle 1 was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Upon further review, he indicated it also could have been 2011 to be 2016 as well. As a result, yeah.
And police never corrected that. Did you notice? Like, so now that we once we got the probable cause, we knew how soon.
Yes.
They were on to something. They got leads from the very beginning. It wasn't long for them to start hunting down someone. And the fact that yeah, okay, I get how that works. You send in some info and the guy's like, well, I think it's this. But then after further review, you're like, no, it's really this. But the cops never corrected that. Yet they were like, hey, this is what we're looking for this year between this year. They knew what they really were looking for.
But they didn't update it.
But they didn't update it to the community. Yet they were like, hey, we need your help. We could use some tips. Can you imagine
more hiding
tips that they got, which
meant nothing.
Just took up their time because they already knew that that's not what they were looking for.
Yeah, unreal. So they then started looking for the 2000 up to 2016. That's insane. What happens in some of these cases? Like, it blows me away. I mean, when a person makes mistakes, there's large consequences that go with them.
Yeah. And I get the strategy. I mean, I can understand why, the law enforcement would want to do that. Like, they're just like, hey, we don't really need your help, but maybe they did that to make whoever they were looking after, because it sounds like they already had a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Make him feel safe. Make him feel like they were just missing him, or didn't really have him pinpointed.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my goodness. She's sleeping just a wagging her tail. So let's see here. Investigators were given access to video footage on the Washington State University, the WSU campus located in Pullman. A review of that video indicates at approximately 2:44 a.m. on November 13th, 2022, a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of the white Alantra, known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed on WSU surveillance cameras traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street and Northeast Stadium Way. At approximately 2:53 a.m., a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra, known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, towards SR 270 and SR 270. Okay, never mind. SR 270 and then new sentence. SR 270 connects Pullman, Washington, and Moscow, Idaho. This camera footage from Pullman, Washington was provided by the same FBI forensic examiner. The forensic examiner identified the vehicle observed in Pullman, Washington as being a 2014 through 2016 Hyundai Elantra. And then Ellie did not update anybody on this. Makes me wonder if they had to hit their eye now on.
Yeah, they definitely did. Because one of the first things, which I know it seems so minute, but the license plate. The fact that he did not have a front license plate, and that's the vehicle that they observed making several turns.
Yes.
Around that apartment building.
At the proper times.
Is what started, then Pullman was like, oh, here's our video. Take a look. And they were like, there's a vehicle with no freaking license plate.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that was a WSU security guard that picked that up.
Yeah.
He was poking around and just kind of paying attention because, of course, what happened in Moscow. And he found this one. It's like,
yeah, he went driving around through the parking lots. Yeah. And found the car.
Yeah. Amazing. Good job. Good job. Wonder if it's the same one that unalived.
Oh, boy.
Unreal. The guy's like a WSU security guard and SWAT. This just doesn't compute to me.
Maybe he's got a lot of time on his hands.
Oh my
Maybe
word.
he's only a security guard on his off days. I don't know. That's wild. I don't know.
Isn't
about that one.
So at approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of suspect vehicle number 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, and on WSU campus cameras. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road. I'm wondering if we should see if these places are blocked out, because they're given actual addresses. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Constoga Drive. The white sedan was then observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on SR 270. At approximately 5:27 a.m., the white Alantra was observed on cameras traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. I make no sense of this. Or this. On November 25th, 2022, MPD asked area law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for a white Hyundai Elantra in the area. On November 29th, 2022, at approximately 12:28, Washington State University, WSU, police officer Daniel Tiengo queried white Elantras registered at WSU. As a result of the query, he located a 2015 white Elantra with Pennsylvania plate LFZ 8649. The vehicle was registered to Bryan Kohberger, hereafter Kohberger, residing at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201, Pullman, Washington. 1630 Northeast Valley Road is approximately 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Stadium Way and Cougar Way. Last camera location that picked up the white Elantra. Where are we?
You wanted to take a look and see if these are blocked out, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, hey. Good looking. That's what's up. So, this is Bishop Way. This is the way he would have came back from, or allegedly came back from that direction.
Yeah.
He would have came from over here. And I know there's another camera somewhere around here that picks him up. Let me see.
You got to think the gas station
Right there. Where is it?
Oh, you've got that
right there.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
Let me just go drop right here.
Yeah. Dandy.
Sorry, Dandy. Yeah, it doesn't look like any of these are blurred out, but one of these buildings right here caught that suspect vehicle 1 traveling that way.
And not blocked out.
No, nothing's blocked out here. I think those because they're residents, maybe.
Yeah.
Also because maybe they could be witnesses at trial. Because they're the ones that own the footage. They need to verify, like, hey, is this yours? Yep. Do we get this from you? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Damn, man.
You really did take a really long way home, though.
Yeah, and what, an extra 30 minutes or so, right?
Like 2 hours almost.
Was it 2 hours?
I mean, almost like 1 hour. If he left the place like at 4:20 and he got back at 5:27. Yeah. Like an hour.
I wonder, he had to have been making stops.
I don't know. That almost seems impossible. I mean,
because they've got him basically timed.
because see, I'm not sure. Like, if he maybe from here, I don't know if he came all the way down 95 and went this way. I think he might have cut through. If he cut through, that would make sense because that would cut time shorter, obviously, right? Because this would take forever to drive.
Yeah.
But if you just cut through, and this is where
Yeah.
his other cell phone data is, then an hour, to get back.
So I think Dandy's got something here, like dumping the weapon and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he would have dumped it and then more than likely gone back, picked it up, and then went on his
Wouldn't
big
that
jaunt.
look suspicious as hell, though? Like, if you...
I think so.
Not so much like dumping the stuff out like at night in like the middle of the night, but like trying to go back because he does leave the very next morning. This is where when he comes over here. Do you remember?
Yeah.
To over by a different border, another state. I would be weirded out if I just like was driving down the highway in the morning and I just saw a car pulled over and a guy walking around the road looking for shit. Like,
I'm thinking of him whipping shit out the window.
Yeah. So like in order for him to find it would be almost impossible to really
I don't think so.
Right?
I don't think so. No. I mean, I'd be paying attention. Like, I mean, he could have stopped.
I mean, he could have made those spots planned as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If all of this was his plan and he was stalking them, he could have like, oh, I'm going to dump this here at this exact spot, whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's a little too much, though. Isn't that too much?
I don't think so. I think if I was the bad guy, I'd be dumping that shit before I got home because I wouldn't want any of that in my apartment.
That's a good point too, Dandy, because he did drive down when he left.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I want to know more about this little visit right here.
Right?
What was he doing down here? Do you think maybe he got injured somehow and then drove all the way to a different place? Because there is a hospital here to get treatment.
Do you think they would have checked?
Usually most doctors, if they see clean cuts, they're going to ask you where you got that clean cut from. Because you can't just be like, oh, I was working on my car, because that doesn't, you wouldn't get a clean cut from it. It would be like jagged.
Oh, for sure.
They would have asked him, but I mean, he could have been like, oh, I'm a
accidentally
stabbed
my shoulder by myself.
Right. I stabbed my shoulder myself.
Yeah. Oops. Can you fix me? Oh, my word. So, and how long was he there? I can't remember. Where was he for that 5 hours? Where was the last ping when he went MIA?
The last couple pings come from here. One of these two. And then the next thing we know, the probable cause says he's in freaking Johnson, Idaho. Where is it?
And that's not corrected on any of the... That's not corrected on anything either, I don't think.
No. And I don't know if it's because it's really Johnson, Idaho that he went to. Or if they did mess up, the defense isn't going to bring it up because that would work really well for them in court.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, there's lots of areas. But when he was parked, it looked like he was parked in that one spot. To me, that would be where I would think some of the most incriminating evidence would be found.
This
Because
is
if
where
he's
I would go
smart,
to dump it.
yeah. And
This
if
is
he's smart, he won't do it all in the same place.
But if that's the case, like, I mean, he could have just like left his phone off. This would have been the smarter thing to do. I'm not trying to give anybody tips or anything, but the
Hey there,
the smarter
James.
thing to have done would have been to just left your phone off. If you've practiced this, you know where you're going, right? You've planned this out. Just
Yeah.
drive there immediately after. Just drive there, dig your hole, do whatever it is you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back.
Yeah, right?
Hi, JJ. Because then his excuse could have been, oh, I went out of town. I went on like a one-night camping trip.
Where?
And didn't over here.
Over here. I was over here.
Weepy, wipey, wherever this is.
And yeah, I don't know, because then they're gonna search. I mean, if
it would be impossible to search this area. Where are you gonna go? Because he only turned his phone on for 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Yeah. And I think that there's a good possibility he whipped some shit out his window or stopped for like, I wouldn't have stopped. I would have chucked it out the window. Or if you're sure, if it's a straight, my phone died, my lord.
Exactly.
No. But yeah, I think I would have known where I was going and whip some shit out, pay attention, and get it right back, just in case there's a way they got you on camera at any of these places. They can search. Maybe he cleaned himself off totally somewhere before he got into that apartment.
I would expect that if he did that, that would have been immediately after he left.
That's what I would think.
Possibly somewhere in the neighborhood too, because there are parks here.
Yeah. I think he's that smart, Dandy. I really do.
I don't believe he is.
So let's see here what this affidavit says about that.
Maybe he's really lucky.
So it was November 18th, according to Washington State licensing, that Kohberger registered the 2015 white Alantra with Washington and later received a Washington plate, CFB 8708. Prior to this time, the 2015 white Alantra was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require a front license plate to be displayed.
Right.
This was learned through communications with a Pennsylvania officer who is currently certified in the state of Pennsylvania. Based on my own experience and communication with Washington law enforcement, I know that Idaho and Washington require front and back license plates to be displayed. Okay, so that's telling you a lot, because that eliminates, I bet, like a massive chunk out of that 22,000 or so. How many are going to have out-of-state plates and in a state that's only got one? What are we looking at?
I do wonder if those cameras from like right directly around the house show the vehicle a little bit more clearly, and if it doesn't have a license plate.
That's kind of what I was wondering too, because somehow they knew there was only a back plate.
Right.
So
they followed him, and they must have seen some footage either from that house next door or the apartment across the street from the house.
Yeah, the ones that are blurred
that
now.
shows like the actual front of the car, and it did not have a license plate. That's the only way I could think like they would know, like, oh, that's that car that we saw at the intersection.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Israel Keys. Exactly. I mean, that man had it figured out.
I mean, he studied all these guys, and he's done little things that like kind of remind you of all of those. I want to say popular just because I can't think of another word for them, like the popular serial killers, like the infamous, famous
They've got
ones.
a following. They've
Yeah.
got groupies. True crime groupies. I mean, look at how many of them get married while they're in jail. Like, what?
You, Bryan Kohberger is getting love letters in prison.
Yeah.
I can't even get
Yeah.
a date.
I can guarantee you that Richard Allen has got love letters sent to him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think you're right. An accumulation of them all. But you know, he's the kind of guy just with those most popular. Yeah. I kill it.
A skillet.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility he could have pre-dug places. I think that's absolutely possible. And to have everything kind of ready for him in the car to get cleaned, get that plastic down, get new gloves on, do what you have to do.
Here's a thought, because I asked that yesterday, like how likely would it be for a person who just moved to the area, right? He's only been there like, let's say 6 months. He immediately moved in and just started exploring the whole state and his neighboring state and just found all these, started driving around, getting used to the streets. Like, I just don't believe that's how people work, because that's not how I worked when I moved to a different state. That's not at all how it went. But I also do wonder if he did do all these things, and the reason they're not finding anything on his computer, because I do know that defense has said like they have nothing on his digital stuff.
That doesn't surprise me.
But he could have been using the college campus computer.
Yeah, very true.
The library or the computer lab thing. Whatever.
Yeah. So they're saying what? That there was no.
Well, they're saying that they can't find any connection from those kids to Bryan anywhere, like on his digital stuff.
But what about the apps that he was supposedly sending all those pictures or going through all those pictures of Maddie's and saying that he liked?
Do we even know that that's true, that he for real had, well, not that he liked the pictures or whatnot, but I know that I heard that he had like screenshots or something or saved photos.
I think that's what, yeah, I think I heard screenshots too.
But like, I don't know how true that is.
We don't have anything from Ellie. So it's something that's not confirmed.
The no furniture thing is clearly psychotic. Like,
yeah, that's pretty bizarre.
You don't even have lawn chairs, plastic furniture. I mean, you can go to the dollar store and buy like an end table for like $5.
Yeah, he was just he's just a piece of work.
Yeah, no shower curtain.
No shower curtain.
I can kind of like look past the no furniture thing, but no shower curtain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Absolutely. And then I was just reading this, the Reddit survey that Kohberger sent out, asking people how they reacted when doing crimes. So November 13th, 2022, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., after determining that Kohberger was associated with both the 2015 white Alantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrants. A query of the 8458 phone in these returns did not show the 8458 phone utilizing cellular tower resources in the proximity to the King Road residence between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. So that would be when he most likely turned his phone off, right?
What date was that? Did that say?
That was November 13th.
Oh, his phone was off during 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder though,
Mhm.
a couple of those house parties that the kids had, does anyone know what days those were on? I know one of them was like in the middle of the day, but the other one that was at night, do you know what day that was?
I don't.
Because I do wonder if he was like, if one of those dates matches up with him being outside of there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there was, I don't recall seeing a date anywhere. Yeah. Just more that, yeah. And everything's stinking of bleach.
Let me find a scratch piece of paper and make a note. I'm going to look into it. It's buried. My legal pad is buried in there somewhere. Look up dates of house party. In there somewhere. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, I have extra ones in there. Okay, see? Nice. I forget that I literally have an office. I have like 20 notepads.
So yeah, loads of red flags, reeks of lunatic. Absolutely. You know, and what kind of confuses me, James, is there's been some really stupid ass mistakes made. But Facebook, join my Facebook. It just pops up. Once they discovered who it was, everything about him, and a person doesn't even have to look at it, but that guy is creepy as FA. It's like AF, sorry, not FA. And just like,
he is a little
I'm starting to wonder if maybe someone else was with him, but I'm not seeing anything that to me indicates that. What do you think? Did you think that there's
anything
any
is
indications?
possible? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say yes or no to it. I mean, is it possible? Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it would make sense with a couple of things, like how quickly he got in and out of the house, how quickly he got in and out of the car.
Right.
That would make sense, but I don't know.
Yeah. So what have I got here? On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 2:42, the phone 8458 phone was using cellular resources that provide to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201. So this is his address. Hereafter, Kohberger's residence. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 845 phone utilized cellular resources that provided coverage southeast of the Kohberger's residence, consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the Kohberger residence and traveling south through Pullman, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra at approximately 2:47 a.m. The 8458 phone stops reporting to the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in the area without cellular coverage, the connection to the network is disabled, such as putting the phone in airplane mode, or the phone is turned off. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 south. And that's where we just looked, right? A while back.
Right here. This is the first time his phone actually kind of turns on.
Yeah, they're saying 4:48.
Hi, Donna.
And the cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho, between 4:50 and 5:26 a.m. The phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling south on Idaho State 95 to Janice, Idaho, then traveling west towards Uniontown, Idaho, and then north back to Pullman, Washington at approximately 5:30 a.m.
Janice,
The
right here.
let's see, the 8458 phone is utilizing resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington, and consistent to the phone traveling back to Kohberger's residence. The phone's movements are consistent with the movements of the white Alantra that is observed traveling on Stadium Drive at approximately 5:27 a.m. Based on review of the 5458 phone's estimated location and travel, the 8458 phone's travel is consistent with that of the white Alantra. Further review indicates that the 8458 phone utilizes cellular resources on November 13th, 2022 that are consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the area of the Kohberger residence at approximately 9 a.m., traveling to Moscow, Idaho. Specifically, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residence between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m. The 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of Kohberger's residence and arriving at approximately 9:32. So there's that.
That's his house right here.
Hey,
And
Shauna, good to see you, friend.
Isn't there like a little part in that PC that also says something like cops believe that his phone, like something about his phone pinging at the King Road residence on the 14th, but they don't think he was there?
Let me see.
I swear it's somewhere in there, but that's so weird because this is technically the 14th, right? No, it would be the 13th, I guess, still.
So it says investigators do not believe the 8458 phone was in Moscow on that date. The 8458 phone has not connected to any towers that might provide service to the Moscow date or since that date.
Since what date? The 14th?
Yep.
Okay. But why would his phone look to like if it was there, if it wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a big distance, 10 miles. And these are two big little towns. Like they would have their own service. So if he's in Pullman, it would show that he's in Pullman. Why would it show it's in Moscow?
Yeah. Well said. I'll just make note of that. And again, there's that lost time. There's what? How much time missing in here?
There's a whole bunch of time missing from the time that he leaves the house. They say it's 4:20, 4:21, whatever. He gets out from this spot right here where the eye is to where his phone turns on. It should take 8 minutes. But it doesn't turn on until 4:27. Wait,
Where
not
is that?
427. 448 is when it turns on. I'm sorry. So like from that house, if he took that route, and I timed it from here, it would take 8 minutes. It's an 8-minute drive.
That's right. Yeah.
It wouldn't take him that long to get out of the neighborhood. So like there's like 10 minutes there that are unaccounted for.
So that might be his first stop to clean up.
And then there's the weird thing here where his phone last pings, it shuts off unless there's no service here, which I don't think that's the case. And he's missing for like 4 hours.
Yes.
And then ends up
and that's where
over here.
That's where I think he got rid of shit. But if there's 10 minutes for him to clean up, I wonder if we'll be able to find maybe along that road where he could have stopped with no one seeing him.
There was a YouTuber out there who put a theory out because he did mention the park back here, and at the time, I guess there's a pond there, and there was like a porta potty or something. So he could have like gone, or I mean, just using the pond, he could have cleaned himself off. He would have smelled terrible, but better than having blood on you.
Yeah. Go get cleaned up in a porta potty. I'm thinking more along the lines of like a little creek or a little pond or a little something.
Creeks around here? We can look.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
If he cut through here, I don't know. Other than like right in the neighborhood or the botanical gardens, I don't really see water anywhere. Other than.
Sorry, guys. I usually tune out. I usually put my avatar when I'm having a cigarette. I don't even know what I was thinking.
You're just way too comfortable.
I'm way too comfy. Yeah, that's what we're kind of looking for, friend. Isn't there one that shows the waterways that we were looking at one point?
You mean down here?
No, you and we were looking at all the different waterways yesterday.
Going towards Canada?
Yeah, can we do that in there to see where all the little waterways?
Well, they're up here. They're up north. There really isn't anything by him other than that big river. And then these little ponds here, like at the botanical gardens, at this park back here. Right there.
But not on the highway that he took back.
Doesn't look to be, no. Well, is that water? Or is that
I don't think so either. I was kind of thinking of washing.
Yeah.
Trying to think of him washing, not so much ditching that stuff yet. My guess is that he would have ditched it in a spot. Yeah, that's what I think, Shauna. That's exactly what I think. I think he'll have the weapons and his clothes and what have you in a separate area that he'll have gotten rid of somewhere along this highway that he could go back and get. And then take off for his 4-hour trip. Because you're not going to want to take it home. What if, right?
You definitely don't want to have it in your vehicle for too long. Either with that adrenaline running. I mean, chances of you getting pulled over, you could like mess up like little things you don't know. The fact that his license plate is from a different state, that could get him pulled over just because that's what cops do.
Okay.
Yeah. Small little towns like this on highways. Yeah.
So this is the road and there's no water.
No.
Like no creeks? Like what's that? Isn't that a little creek? Like that's water that in there, isn't it?
These are
Yeah.
trees.
Trees, okay. There is the pond at the botanical gardens, but I thought maybe something would be along the way.
I mean,
Even
there's
if
a
you
lot
had
of
to.
country out here,
Mhm.
but these look like farmlands. If he dumped something out here, it would probably get found.
I don't think he dumped anything out there. I'm just wondering where he could wash off. Like fast.
Unless he came all the way to this, like RV parks or RV stations sometimes have like bathrooms and showers that are like offset. That would be an option. I don't know if, because I just saw an RV here thing. So
I don't think I'd take the chance if I was all bloody going into anything public. I really don't. And when people are camping, they go into those things all hours of the night and day.
yeah, and then down
I can't
this
believe it.
road,
No creeks. Like what?
if this is the route that he really did take, I don't.
Oh. I always kind of thought he took it home to his parents and hid it there. A strong magnet on the underside of the car would keep it safe for travel. Absolutely. Well, what do you think? I think he had to be. He could have been wearing something protective, but you'd still have to get rid of that stuff, right? And you take it out into the middle of some forest, you dig it down like 6 feet or so, and don't put the knife in the same place. Like dig a massive hole, drop your shit in there, cover it up, throw shit on top of it, and then go find another spot that you can like just bore down, not big, but just bore down 6-8 feet so a detector won't.
Here's a creek.
Okay, is there any way to access that?
And he'd have to know it's there. You can barely see it.
If there's a little road or something to it.
Yeah, I'm going to go up the street because Broadway would connect with this. And Broadway would be the road that vehicle would be on. Did I pass it? Nope.
Do you know how much that steak salad I had was the other day?
No.
$28.
Jesus.
Yeah, like what's happening? A box of like it's fresh fruit, but a box was $100 just for fruit. It was like, what the hell? I need to start gardening again.
Church. Here's that creek.
Right there with that. Yes. Boom. Boom. So is there anywhere that he could hide his vehicle? Where's that church?
That church is right there.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure could. It's probably right behind the church. Yeah, me too, Dandy. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for them.
This baseball field has to have like an outside bathroom somewhere.
I still wouldn't go there.
Yeah, and then like on a Sunday morning when everyone's sleeping.
No. I think you're right.
A bad idea. But that's the only other water that I see is that creek, but he would have to kind of
is there like
off track from his route to get there. Just
not
a
much
little
though.
No, not a whole bunch. Like if he's coming down here, he can hit it right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't even look really like anything. Doesn't really look like anything. Not a spot that I would want to.
Yeah, well said, Sean. So I don't know how cold it gets there. Would rivers and moving water freeze? It's not very big, so yeah, you might have something there. I mean, he's made some dumb maneuvers, so I mean, we can't eliminate public places. That just doesn't sound smart.
I mean, I wouldn't walk into a gas station or anything, but I think like a park, especially in these small little towns like this where it's open.
And he'd have to clean up after.
There has to be some sort of bathroom there, you know.
And then just clean it up like really good.
If he even wanted to, because it wouldn't really be necessary. But if he didn't have any of his blood on him, it wouldn't really be necessary to do, would it?
Yeah, I don't know that either, Dandy. It could be frozen and have been dug before. I'm not sure about that time of year if the ground would be frozen. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. I mean, and this was a weird year for us, and they're not that far. At Celsius, Shauna, or Fahrenheit? That's like French to me.
So this would be November 2022 in Moscow. This better be Moscow, Idaho, and not Russia. Okay.
Right?
Okay, USA. It says USA at the top. Okay, cool. I mean, it was cold. It snowed. Hadn't it snowed the day prior or something?
I don't know. It's got sunshine the day before.
I don't ever believe that. I think it snowed. There was snow on the ground on some of the pictures.
And what is 34? I think that's cold, or
it's cold for us.
Okay.
It's cold for me. That's cold. I'd be out in a scarf and
not a winter coat, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what that is translated.
Scarf, a jacket, a beanie, possibly. Well, the scarf would go over my face as well. But yeah, that's cold. That's cold for me.
Okay. So, and one more question I have. He wasn't there for very long. Did he know where all the stuff would be? Did he drive around all the time? Do you know what I personally think is that of those 12 times they've got his vehicle going by 1122, my guess is he was scouting the area. I think he had drive time. He was getting prepared, I believe, for some time.
I just find it really hard to believe that he didn't also scope out the cameras.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I drive around a lot checking out our area. Very possible that he did that too, since he had no friends.
I mean, he could have done it on Google Maps, just like we're doing, just checking to see routes and roads and how to get out of areas. And
or even 12 times. That's quite a bit to be. I'm thinking he probably learned a thing or two.
But if he knew all these things, why also keep his phone on him and on to be tracked while he was doing these so-called recon missions?
Well, you see, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, how smart is this guy? Some say he's like brilliant, and I'm like, well, what the hell? Why is he making such like novice mistakes?
Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, I almost feel like he would have been better off like
Dandy.
parking his car somewhere since he is a runner.
Oh, that's not what I was laughing. I had something different in my head. Laid eyes on the girls at the restaurant and followed them home and started. Yeah.
Very
Yep.
So that would mean that's Maddie. And
yeah. And Xana. You know, and he could have heard all sorts of stuff sitting in there. They're going to know everybody. So they could be, oh, are you going to be having a party? Are you going to be doing this? And I mean, lots of things. He could have learned lots.
And I mean, we know from that body cam footage from the second party at night that people just walk in and out of there.
Yeah.
He could have easily walked in and out of there.
Yeah.
Several times prior.
He could have been invited.
That too, but I don't think anyone would be the wiser if he wasn't.
Pardon me?
I don't think anyone would know the difference if he wasn't, if he wasn't invited.
You don't think so? You don't think they had their own group?
If he was like a smooth talking guy, he could have been like, oh, he just throw somebody's name out there. Like, oh, Corey invited me. There's 200 people in this house. Like, there's probably 5 Corys in there.
Yeah. Yeah. 32 is below freezing. Oh, okay. So that might be warm for me.
It would explain him knowing the layout, if that's the case, exactly where he needed to go.
And I think he knew exactly where to go. My opinion, like, I think he knew where to go in that house. I think he knew that area.
And there's just certain things that really, really irked me about all of this. If he was really doing recon, he would know Santa has a boyfriend. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Ethan's a big guy.
Yeah.
And okay, he doesn't stay there all the time, possibly, but you can't also take a guess at when he will be there. It's probably like kind of really random, or
maybe he had it in his mind he'd be able to get upstairs and do it quietly.
Maybe. Or, I mean, I would think that if I was thinking about doing something like this and I was if I knew that might be an obstacle for me, I would work out. I mean, I would train super hard. I would do whatever. I would bring extra something to kind of
get rid of
that.
Yeah. Yeah, like Dandy's saying, the layout would be easy because, I mean, they do show that layout
on TikTok.
Well, not even on that, but they were advertising it on,
on Realtor. That's where I had originally found the layout.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he could have done the exact same thing and had a pretty good idea. They did. If I didn't, right?
Maybe he didn't have furniture because he was just like doing crunches and like jumping jacks and just wall sits like in his living room all day, every day.
Yeah.
Just getting lean.
Yeah, there's so much to learn yet. Like, we're trying our best to even find a route that he would have taken. And we get little bits and babbles, but there's dead zones on the road and in the areas, and his phone is turned on and off. It's just the most bizarre thing.
It's almost brilliant, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Dave? Good to see you.
Dave.
Yeah.
Leave your phone at home, folks. Just leave it at home. Don't bring it with you. You've already printed out the route, the directions to get where you want to go.
And
Leave
they're
your phone
saying
home.
that his car and his phone are together the entire time until it turns off, but they can
Yep.
verify where he was going based
Yep.
on,
Because they see his car, they see his specific car, and his phone's off, or his phone's
yes,
on, and they don't see the car.
yes,
But like that's him. It
yeah.
all matches.
And I have to think that the cops have already debunked the sunroof. I mean, they
Yeah.
had access to that stuff a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you might be right. It's somebody, maybe the defense, even someone part of the defense party, like just throwing things in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Yeah.
people are so interested in that footage. Like, I don't understand. I'm like, that's obviously not the car, but I get that people are like, oh, what if it could have been? If we
Not
had the
everybody
wrong
knows,
guy.
though.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows, though, right? A lot of people don't dig. And if they're not watching our different, like all of the different creators doing stuff on it,
But that's the
they
thing.
wouldn't
I've
even have
seen creators who are putting that out, and I'm not saying that they're putting it out saying like, "Hey guys, like this, take a look at this footage with the sunroof." I don't know, like these people are like, it's almost like they're trying to be like, "Okay, what if they do have the wrong guy, and we should look at this? We should take a look at this footage."
I think they're throwing in doubt.
and that's cool, but I'd like some sort of storyline to that.
Yeah. They just put in that vehicle when they think that it could mess up the story. That's what I'm believing. Just that they're showing up. That car's showing up. It can fill in some blanks.
Well, it would explain what the defense is saying in that paperwork, where they're like, "You guys have the wrong car at the wrong time going down Walenta."
Yes.
And that car also has a sunroof.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And a lot of times this stuff isn't corrected. So it ends up out there being thought of as fact.
this is all speculation, guys, by the way.
Yeah, speculation station.
Other than these routes you see here,
Tanking
because they're
it.
from the PC. Like,
Yeah.
these routes are legit, though. That's from the PC. Best
So
gathering.
let's see here. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a fourth time at approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and driving eastbound again down Queen Road. So they're saying that at that intersection where that house is kind of blocked out, that he did another 3-point turn?
Yeah.
Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of King Road residence at approximately 4:20. We were talking about this as 4:21 when we started hearing that squealing.
And I would love to play it, but it's on somebody else's stuff. I will drop the link, though.
Yeah, and do you know what? There's probably some way I can get parts of it for you. I'm just going to have to take a boo.
Was that Jeff or was that Sassy?
It might have been Jeff. Suspect vehicle 1. Okay. So it is next observed traveling southbound down Walenta Drive. And I think that other house might be the camera footage that they got from there. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood, that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame. I believe suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood on Palouse River Drive and Constega Drive. Palouse River Drive is at the southern edge of Moscow and proceeds into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho, and they are both college towns.
So yeah, if you take Sandpit Road, it will take you, it's a very short route. It'll take you all the way back. You just through Bugsby, make that turn. It'll take you right back up to Pullman. It's a shorter route. But
Yeah.
you didn't go that way.
Yeah. He seemed to have taken a longer route. And they're still missing time, right?
Like I said, there's this weird. If this is the route he took, like I said, it's 8 minutes from here to there. So if he left at 4:21, 4:22, takes him about 4:25 to get out of there. His phone turns back at 4:48.
So what was he doing? And there's no water around there?
Just the parks that are in the actual neighborhood. Like Anderson Frontier Park is right here.
Yeah.
And he could technically go there.
He could, yeah.
And then the other one is out on the Botanical Gardens on the golf course. And then there's that creek over in Genesee.
Yeah. So there are places that if he needed to clean up, that he could. I think the Botanical Gardens would maybe be safer than a camp place.
It's open 24 hours.
And it's open 24 hours. Yeah.
I don't know how true that is. I don't know if anyone knows anyone in Idaho who can confirm, but the website says 24 hours.
I'm sure it is. It doesn't seem like it's the type with gates.
No, it does not look like it has gates.
Yeah. So he might be able just to pull off somewhere where no one can see the vehicle and go in and just clean himself up. And with that said, if he made that round past that house, it would have been the perfect time to pick this stuff up again if he did indeed get rid of it out.
It looks like you can get through there. You might not be able to take your vehicle through there, but
he wouldn't need to. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a runner.
And how far, I wonder, until
and
like a road.
It's but it's more of a walking path.
Okay.
But here's that pond thing.
Yeah, there's two, Washington and Idaho.
There's the kid's house. So pond.
So how far how close, I wonder, can he get to that pond? Like, he is a runner. But my thoughts are he's not going to want to be seen, so he's going to probably try and get some close. I seen a car parked there, didn't I?
Where?
Oh, no, maybe that's a bench.
It doesn't look like this is gated off. There's walk paths there.
That's a walking path.
Is that a fence? Let's see Arbor Guest House. It's just like a B&B.
Looks like it.
Huh. I don't know.
So it
This
might
doesn't
not
look to be gated.
Yeah, I'd like to figure out how close he could get, because if he can get close enough, because he's not going to want that car to be seen.
Oh, there's like a little.
But that's only a cow fence, isn't it?
That looks super safe.
Okay, not what I thought it was. I thought it was one of those cattle girls that they put.
Mm-hmm. And then where's that road he exited? Oh.
Yeah, what is that? Oh.
Someone's personal driveway.
Yeah.
That'd be risky.
Yeah, great gate.
Someone else's personal driveway. And this is where they think he exited from. Was this road right here?
Yeah, exactly.
Which if he goes that way, it takes him back to Pullman. If he goes that way and then down 95, which is on the other side of those. What are those called? Silos?
Silos?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the route he took out that way.
That way. And the only waterways there is that creek.
Yeah, out this way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. I know that probably hurt your eyes. Doing it. Why doesn't it work?
I don't know.
I don't know. My Google's not working very well.
Well, I'll go up and take a look at the PCA here. Investigators were given access footage on the Washington State University WSU campus located in Pullman, Washington. A review of that video indicated that at approximately 2:44 a.m. November 13th, 2022, a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of the white Alantra, known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed on WSU surveillance cameras traveling north on South Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way at approximately 2:53 a.m. A white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra, also known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed traveling Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, towards SR 270. SR 270 connects Pullman, Washington to Moscow, Idaho. This camera footage from Pullman, Washington was provided to the same FBI forensic examiner. The forensic examiner identified the vehicle observed in Pullman, Washington as being a somewhere between 2014 and a 2016 Hyundai Elantra. At approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, and on WSU campus cameras. The first camera that recorded the white sedan.
Hold on. Urge pause.
Yep.
What was he doing here? Because if at 2:44 a.m. he's seen traveling north, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. That's what they said.
North on Southeast Nevada Street, which is this street right here. It's a cross street. If he's traveling north,
Southeast Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington.
So he goes this way, right? So that means he crossed Northeast Stadium Way and he crossed over. So he's traveling north.
Okay.
But then it says that at 2:53, so 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes later, 9 minutes later, he's seen going north on Southeast Nevada towards SR20?
I don't know.
What was he doing for 10 minutes in this little area? It doesn't take 10 minutes to do.
Well, that's it. Like, it just, a lot of this does not make sense. He's had to have made stops along the way. Right?
I mean, Starbucks, there's Starbucks there, but that's closed at 2:00 in the morning. Is the PC wrong? Did they mean Northeast Stadium way and they just put in Southeast Nevada?
Observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, towards SR 270. SR 270 connects Pullman, Washington to Moscow, Idaho. The camera footage from Pullman, Washington was provided to the same FBI forensic examiner. And then
that makes no sense, like what they're saying, because Southeast Nevada is still, you still need to make a right to get on the road that takes you to 270. So what are they talking about?
Yep.
That's confusing to me.
There are so many confusing things. Oh, my word.
Ooh, preparado, corn on the cob with elote, mayonesa, sal, chile. Ooh.
No, that's okay.
We're all curious about the DoorDash. That dude must be under lock and key. They probably have him like in a black site hole or something. He ain't getting no one's talked to.
No, if it's a him, I mean, it goes
Or
around.
her. Yeah,
it
sorry,
could be a female.
They, them.
Yeah, they, them. Yeah. You know, watching that video from the parking lot, I'm still curious why he stops for so long. Why is that guy stopping? And he's got to know there's cameras.
You mean that 3-point turn he made in front of that apartment building?
Yeah.
Where I said it sounded like he didn't know how to drive a stick?
Yeah, because it was grinding. It was.
Yeah.
But that could be nerves.
Maybe.
I can't drive one regardless, so I can just imagine if I got freaked out.
I know how to ride a motorcycle. I've never
way ahead of me.
And I know how to park a car, like a stick.
Yeah.
I know how to park it. I mean, I can drive it in like first gear, second gear, and park it, but I'm not gonna get on the highway. Absolutely not.
Parking it would be for me. I'm turning the key off and hoping I don't hit the brakes and hope I don't hit anything. So let's see here, this probable cause. So approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of suspect vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman. And the first camera that recorded the sedan was on 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. So that's the first one. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to the West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Constoga Drive. The white sedan was observed turning north onto Bishop Boulevard and northwest on SR 270 at approximately 5:27 a.m. The white Alantra was observed on campus traveling northbound on Stadium Way and Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Road. Ole! So, yeah. What do we see? I know I'm hungry too. I look over there and it's like, oh my word. Grilled veggies. Oh, you guys, corn on the cob. I'm going to order food.
Don't order that steak salad.
I know. It was so yummy though.
You know you can make a steak salad at home, right?
Yeah, it doesn't taste like theirs. I haven't cooked for so long, I don't know if I still know how.
You know, I do hear that whenever someone else makes you something, like even a sandwich, it tastes.
Oh, it always tastes better.
It always tastes way better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's why I put on a couple of pounds. I don't cook. Hubby does. What am I going on here?
Ooh, lasagna. I like stovetop lasagna. It's quicker, faster.
Tastes the same.
Not as much work, and it tastes the freaking same.
Yeah, I can relate to Andy. I can relate. So, did we find his? Are we in Pullman?
We're in Pullman. We're hovering right over his apartment right now.
So, yeah, there's an hour and a half there. Yeah, agreed. I agree, Copper Horse. Jane, oh, I can't do it on here. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys. Bad.
Little Italy NYC lasagna.
Nummy. So he could have very well spent some of that time getting rid of stuff so he could go back and collect it for his road trip. I just cannot see him going home after doing that and taking that shit home with him.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
The stress from that, like crossing all these states with like evidence.
I think he's buried holes and dumped things in places that they'll probably never be found. That's my guess.
So what was the deal with him putting trash in like plastic? Do you think he was like up all night and day, like just looking out his window and saw that FBI little crew take that stuff out of the trash can?
No, I just think he's forensically aware.
Well, obviously not, because
I'm pretty forensically aware, I would say. Like, they're not finding his DNA all over the place. As far as the electronics, yeah, he's been sucking. But as far as DNA and stuff like that, no. So I think that's why he was doing it. He just didn't want law enforcement to get a hold of his DNA. So he thought, well, I'll just do it this way.
Well, but if he was also like dumping it in his neighbor's trash, like, I would find that weird. Like if I went, because I would, as a police officer, I would go look at the neighbor's trash as well, just in case. I know they had been like surveillancing him the whole time, so they saw him do that.
Yeah.
And if I walked over to the trash and all I see is just like a whole bunch of trash bags, like regular people's trash, but then I open it up and there's little baggies in there.
Yeah.
With somebody with trash in it, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, he's probably going to throw it in a garbage bag with whatever.
Right. But like, that would be weird. Like I would look and be like, why is this one different? Like, and obviously we saw, like they saw him walk over there to do that.
Yeah. I don't think he was aware though. Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to think he's intelligent until he walks free. Pretty careless if guilty. Yeah, he's made some dumb mistakes, but I think he's very capable.
That goes back, of getting away with that, because that goes back to that theory of maybe he's not trying to literally get away with murder. He's trying to use a system to get away with murder. And that's the ultimate.
Absolutely.
You know, go screw yourself moment.
Yeah. Poor DoorDash person. Oh, got away by the skin on her nose. Had plenty of time to get rid of evidence before he arrested. Oh, he really, really did. And that's the sad thing about this, especially if they had some of this information sooner than later.
I mean, they did pretty good. I mean, as far as like cop work goes, they immediately hit the streets, started getting those videos.
Yeah.
Within 10 days, they had a good source of what vehicle they were looking for.
My gut tells me it's him. There's just too many coincidences. There's not that many coincidences in life unless it's meant. And that's it.
It's called law-abiding citizen, James.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see this guy as innocent. And I mean, they can move his trial to whatever. I don't think they're going to, but they might. Trial to wherever, but guilty he looks guilty. There's no taking away from that.
Yeah, but can they prove it? And this is what's so fabulous about trials. I know, like me and you kind of have like a contestment against it sometimes, but I think that he's guilty. I mean, from what the information that I have, it points to him. Although it's all somewhat circumstantial, like those his phone tags.
Sucks.
His phone tags are a little circumstantial.
Yeah.
Even his DNA on that knife sheath is circumstantial. If they can spin a good story, if the defense can put just something else out there, just all they need is reasonable doubt. And if the prosecution, the state can't give enough facts to the jury, the jury needs to go with what they see.
Yeah. I believe they've got more. I agree again, James.
So. I really do.
His name and a bunch of really bad actors.
You know,
I really believe in my heart of hearts they have enough.
I really think the defense is going to throw in a lot of that. Well, this was a party house.
Yeah.
Everybody came in and out.
But how do you explain no DNA except his on that sheath? Nobody's.
Well,
under Maddie.
I could explain it. I could give you a story on how to explain it.
Somebody put gloves on and somehow got Bryan's print, placed it on there, and then stuck it under
right
Maddie
there.
when he died.
Dave, that's a good one right there. I would have said my story on explaining the knife sheath would be he came over to a party one night. That knife sheath was owned by somebody else, and he touched it.
And no other fingerprints are on there but his on the snap.
It's not even fingerprints. They're not even saying it's fingerprints. They're just saying
but they're going to ask.
DNA was on the snap. Yeah.
But they're going to ask, is there other DNA other than Bryan Kohberger's on there? And if there's not, he can't get away from that.
But he could explain
What's somebody going to do?
But it's reasonable doubt, you know.
I don't think so. Yeah, I really don't think so. It was under her body with only one person's DNA other than hers on it. That's very damning.
Yeah, maybe that other person who actually owned the knife knew that guy touched it and then never just put gloves on the next time he touched it. I don't know. I'm just giving, like, this is what the defense will do, you know, just give out.
I don't think they can do it. They can try, but I don't think with that in particular. I think that DNA is extremely damning, basically because of where it was found. If it wasn't found underneath her dead cold body, I would think differently.
But where were those other male DNAs that didn't match?
We don't know. They could have been a coffee cup because they're not telling us.
Where were they at? Yeah. And if they were on the bed underneath.
If it was important DNA, they would be going DNA from this person, DNA from that person. They're not. They're looking for ways to mix up a possible
Oh, for
jury, I
sure. But
think.
that's the defense. That's what they're gonna do. They'll be like, well, there was, and
Yes.
they've already mentioned it. They've already said, well, there was like all these other 3 unknown males. That's not Bryan. It's not Ethan. But
Yeah.
where again, like you said, where did that DNA come from? I don't
That's
know.
what's and
But
that's gonna make all the difference in the world if they
if
use it.
some of that was found on the bed, in the bed sheet, I mean, come on, these are college girls, they have boyfriends,
Yeah,
right?
but they would be saying something. Like, if they had even one other even slightly suspected individual, they would have that person in. You know,
But they
somebody
also said that
literally.
they didn't find them. They couldn't find them. They couldn't ID those DNA. That's what they said.
Yeah, it was probably some kid without a record that was there partying. Because most people that are in uni do not have criminal records.
But here's an argument that the defense
Mhm.
also has. So if they
Mhm.
did find this extra male DNA, right, that they couldn't track down, but they made such a huge effort to test the sheath, right? They
Yeah.
tested it, they got a profile from it,
Yeah.
and then they went and put it into 23andMe or into like these genealogical companies, right? I
Yeah.
wonder, my question is, did they do the same for those other profiles?
I would say it depends where they were located. I mean, if they're on one of those dirty dishes, if they're on like that planter that was tipped over, if it's on the kitchen sink, if it's even on a door handle, I mean, that none of that matters. But being found under Maddie's unalived body, I think is something. Now, if they can place any of that DNA, say around Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, Xana, any other person's DNA in there, okay, I'm game. I want to know it. But they're not saying that this DNA was on the sheath. They're not
No,
saying
and they're not saying where it came from either. But that makes me really
exactly.
curious because the fact that they even took it to try to find the person makes me really curious because
Yeah, but the defense is throwing up smoke screens, in my opinion. Who cares about this other DNA if it is not related to the case? And it doesn't sound like it is.
well, I would care because I would hope that they would run down every single lead. And if you
I'm
had
sure
this
they
DNA and
did.
you didn't run it down, like if you didn't, they're
I
literally saying
highly
they
doubt
didn't
that
find it.
happened.
They didn't
Yeah.
find them. That would make me a little bit concerned because you have to
Not if
look
it's on a
at all
coffee cup or
sides.
a plate or it's going to depend. I mean, if it looked like it could be part of the investigation, absolutely. But like I say, if there's DNA in some really mundane place,
Well,
I can
yeah,
guarantee the
totally.
defense is going to say,
And
but what about all this other DNA? I
that
want to
house
know.
wasn't the cleanest, like per se.
No,
They
it
threw a lot of
wasn't.
parties. I'm sure there was cups everywhere. And I mean, we saw that picture of Xana's
Yes.
go bag and then the
Yeah.
knocked over like flower pot. If nothing happened in the kitchen, why is that flower pot knocked over? Unless
The
I don't
kids.
know. But I am very curious about that. Like those are things that I think again when it comes to trial, like defense will use to their favor. And
Do you
they
know what?
will
I think they looked in the kitchen though, because we seen in
yeah.
pictures when this first happened
I just
that, and there was that one picture. Do you remember where it looked like there was stuff running down by that
yeah,
door?
I don't know if I have that picture.
I probably do in one of the videos again.
But like I also think that nothing happened in the kitchen. Because if it
Mhm.
did happen in the kitchen, you would see maybe Ethan even somewhere, maybe in the living room or in the kitchen himself.
Yeah.
But they were both in
Yeah.
the bedroom. Ethan and Xana were both in the bedroom. So
Yeah, as far as we can tell. And again, that doesn't even make sense considering at the very beginning they were saying that he was in the hallway. Like, it's so damn confusing. Was he in the bedroom? Was he in the hallway?
Yeah, but I would have to go with what the probable cause says, and that's not how it reads.
It doesn't. No. No. Not at all. Can you imagine? Okay, I don't know who was attacked first, but I'm going to go with
The girl
maybe Ethan.
upstairs.
Night, James. It was great to see you, friend.
Hi,
Have a
James.
wonderful evening.
Have a good week. Happy Monday.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's probably just about over. It is.
What is this?
10 o'clock there. Yeah.
Let me go back a little bit. Just so, like, this is what the kitchen looks like. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. Pretty filthy. Kids.
The window that they're checking
Mm-hmm.
would be Dylan's room, right?
No,
Or is this window to the kitchen from the layout? Is that right?
I think that's in the kitchen. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to go pull it up.
Yeah.
Kitchen.
I think it's
Did I
towards
pass
the
it?
end.
Is it towards the end?
I thought so.
These look dark, so I can't even.
Did you turn off the lights?
I did turn off the lights.
Here we are.
Turned off the lights. Okay, this is Dylan's room. This would be the kitchen.
Yeah.
Here. Oh, there is a window though. Okay, so that window would be the window that they're checking right here. And then that other window would be Dylan's room.
Don't think so. Let's go. Can we?
Yeah.
I wish we could let's see where that window. Because I thought she was further back a bit, but maybe not.
Which way did it go, Jim?
So when you go in the doors there.
Let's go to Dylan's room. That's her door over there, which is kind of right in front of the kitchen. The stairs are right here. She's got a window.
Yeah, she's got a big window. I thought she was around the corner a bit more, but must not be.
She's right next to the kitchen. The stairs are between them.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think anything happened in the kitchen because I feel like if the suspect would have came down and he was exiting, and if he caught either Xana or Ethan in here, they're corralled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he would have got them here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like there's any evidence. Like,
hey, Emma Vam, good to see you. I hope everything's going well in your bubble. Yeah.
So I do wonder.
What's that door to the closet?
The closet?
Yeah, that's a closet, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I do wonder if maybe either Xana or Ethan had already walked out of the kitchen or something, or maybe they were walking in.
I have a feeling that they probably were in there. She was probably in the room eating her sandwich or her hamburger or whatever, playing on TikTok.
Right.
So I still wonder, how did they not, especially Dylan being at the bottom of the stairs, how did she not hear? Oh, I don't know if that's good news or bad news, friend. I hope it's good.
Oh, honey.
So with that stuff happening upstairs, there's no way she did not hear that at the bottom, because can you imagine? So she had to hear it, which means Xana and Ethan possibly heard it. So he could have been coming out of the bedroom, but I'm wondering what made Bryan go down there.
Well, I suspect that maybe this is just a theory that somebody was either getting out of Xana's room.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been Ethan or Xana. They were either coming in or they had already come out of the kitchen. And they were maybe like somewhere in the living room.
Yeah.
And they saw somebody coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
And
I wonder
obviously
he wouldn't have shoes on.
You would freak out because I mean this dude's like in a mask, right? You know that's not and then he
Not
chased
normal.
whoever down. Whoever it was. I think it was
Ethan
Xana.
down.
Or I don't know. I don't know where Ethan was. It just says that
No.
he was in the room.
Yeah, let me take a look here.
I've been thinking about you, Sunshine.
Absolutely. Now we're finding out that sounds like DM messaged everybody in the house and didn't get any answer from anyone until Bethany. I don't know how true it is, but that's what they're saying now.
I just don't even. Maybe she thought it was like a prank because they are kind of sorority.
Can you imagine what those screams sounded like?
No, I can't. I don't even want to because I know that I would react differently to that. So I don't want to even.
She stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. DM then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." So at approximately 4:17, a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a resident immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17.
And you kind of heard that in that one footage. Just a little. It sounded like a dog bark, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just you guys, this house right here. And you can kind of see the landing there, but that's the King Road house. This house right here is the one that picked up the audio.
Yeah, it says that the camera was about 50 feet from Xana's bedroom window.
Yeah, let's map it. Because it is about 50 feet.
Can you map it on there with it being closed?
Yeah.
Without going up that street? Oh, cool.
From the corner.
The other corner, I think.
To that south side wall is about 41 feet.
Okay. Yeah. I just think everybody probably in that house, all the guests have touched things. DNA was everywhere, blew their nose, literally everything. The hallways are narrow. If there was more than one perpetrator, it would be tougher to hide, like marks on the walls and clues of more than one perpetrator, I would imagine. Well said, friend. Yeah. I just don't see it.
I don't see, I would believe not two perpetrators, just one, but maybe
a driver.
Mm-hmm. I would go with that, but like I wouldn't necessarily go with two different people inside the house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, things are starting to get clearer as time goes on. But I just have it in my head that they have got a shit ton more information that we're not seeing.
Yeah.
But I am kind of interested see if they can find out who's making these leaks. I mean, there's so many we've seen it before where people make up fake sounds and
right. I mean, I would especially like to know who's leaking the one from this apartment building specifically. Because those, from what it looks like, seem to be around the right time.
Yes.
And that's worrisome because that shouldn't be something that's leaked. That's evidence.
Yeah. It definitely puts him there. His phone and his phone's off.
Yep.
But wonder what he's got in his car. And I'm also curious if he's wearing a watch. You're always great to have, Shauna. Always love seeing you each and every time.
Bossing. Oh.
Yes, I think you're right. That one window they're checking is the one that the screen was out. And that's the thing. I agree. I just think another person makes it too risky.
Well, two people can't keep a secret.
Not very often, do you think?
No.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think he might have had a couple surprises. I think he had more than enough time to do it. And I'm starting to think again that he parked in front of the house. We looked at those skid marks again yesterday. And where they were looking is directly in front of that house. And then the one that's blocked out, pretty sure it had a camera, that apartment.
Mm-hmm.
That's well said, Shauna. He's too much of a lone wolf to have a partner. He doesn't have that type of connection with people.
No,
To
he
have
doesn't.
bond like that. Yeah, well said. I totally agree. I totally agree. So how are you hanging in there, friend? Just
I'm
about?
good. I was actually trying to find that picture of the screen laying on the floor because I do have it somewhere.
Yeah, agreed.
I do wonder how long that screen was laying on the floor for. People are saying that had been like that for a while, but
okay.
How long and why?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's still going to be a mystery. Anytime something else comes out, absolutely. Jump on again. And all I needed was to strip his clothes off and put them into a trash bag before he got back into his car. He might have had some sort of one-piece outfit and gloves on, cap, which enabled him to, yeah, exactly. Exactly. See, it makes me wonder, why are they working in that kitchen? Maybe they're just, yeah.
This is the picture from the gas station.
Yeah.
That car doesn't look to have a license plate, but I don't know what that is. I've never heard anything else from it.
Yeah, no. And there's the one where the cops with the kids and yeah, I think you're right, Shauna. Yeah. I'm still convinced that he did this. I'm thinking lone wolf type deal. He had no friends, right?
Yeah, he seems like the type. Like even his neighbor, like his wife, the guy, his neighbor, I think he invited him to like Thanksgiving, and his wife was like, "Oh my God, why did you invite him?"
He's weird.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Oh, I don't like that guy."
Are they? I was wondering about that dandy. Okay. That's exactly what I was wondering. Can you get them in dark colors too?
The what? What are you talking about?
The Tyvek's suits? Something he can just rip off right and
Oh yeah.
walk
I mean,
out?
even if you can't get them in black, it's just a matter of dyeing
Okay.
them.
I don't know. Would he take the time?
I would.
Yeah, but this is it. This is him.
It's not hard. You just fill a bucket up with water and throw dye in it and soak it.
Yep.
It's not hard.
No, it's not. So yeah, we're all kind of agreeing that some type of suit, very similar to what they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah.
I mean, who's to say he didn't go out to like Johnson, Idaho and just start a fire and burn everything?
That's it. So, there's so many possibilities. Well, friend, I think I'm going to call it. We've been 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It's been a busy weekend.
It's been awesome.
Busy weekend with Bryan, this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Yeah.
So how many times has that guy's nose been broken? Like,
that's a good question.
Like that's not the normal.
He does have a little bit of a
Oh, you're not Dave.
Here's what Dave wants to see. Look at that.
Yeah. Papa Rogers.
And he just
looks like Hubby's brother too. Yeah, I have not seen, like, I do believe that Papa Rogers stopped at the same time.
What was that other guy's name?
Which one?
He was on Reddit. Inside looking. Look at that picture. Broken ass nose. I know you can barely see it. I know I have that picture
look
somewhere.
at that though. Look at that.
But that's inside looking from Reddit.
Look at that.
These are things that he was saying on
that post.
On Reddit. Yeah. Kayla enters sliding door and exits sliding door. And then he says, Kaylee, Maddie, retargets. The path doesn't cross Ethan and Xana. This guy was weird. I mean,
he could have been using 2 profiles.
That looks like him.
It kind of does.
I'll try to find that picture. I know I have it somewhere.
Well, thanks for joining me, Mexi.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Always.
Tomorrow's Monday. My least favorite day of the freaking week.
Back at it. Back at it. Okay, I'm going to stop that one. And that one.
True story, Dave. But that's maybe also why they're not talking about other footprints, because the footprints were useless because of his booties. But they could mention them. They could have mentioned them.
Yeah. I mean, if he wore booties, maybe that's why they haven't said much about foot size.
But then how did they get that latent print? Or what is that even?
What the hell was that latent print? Like, it wasn't in blood.
No.
So and that's the only going on with that?
It's the only place they found it, just to corroborate DM's story.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They would be slick on a hardwood floor. Unreal. Well, I'm sure we're going to be doing this again soon. Bryan Kohberger, things are dropping on a regular basis. And, I think August might be Richard Allen.
So I'll have to look.
Yeah.
I think that dude's going to be get ready to plead guilty, I think.
That
would suck.
Right.
That would suck. Well, not suck, but
well, I want what the families want.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the families want, I want the same for them.
I want justice. I just also want to know, and I think like sometimes families don't get all the answers that they're looking for.
No.
And I don't know if that'll heal them or help them per se.
Yeah.
Having those answers, but I think they should know. And when people plead guilty, they don't really get to know.
No, they don't. They don't. So I think it'll depend. Like, that's a lot of pretty heavy stuff to sit there and listen to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could without having a really strong reaction. So I guess we'll have to once again wait and see, and hope that we get justice, that Abby and Libby get justice that they deserve. They were just two kids doing what kids do.
Yep.
With that said, guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Thanks again, Mexi and Mods.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. You too, Frankie. We'll chat soon.
Bye.
Bye.